This homework here is 052 HW1. We're going to be talking about ordered pairs and finding the domain and range of these ordered pairs. So what we got here? In problem number 1, we have a set of coordinates, and we have to identify the domain, the range, and if it's a function, yes or no. So domain, all a domain is just the x values. So we're just going to list all the x values. That'll be the numbers that come first. So it's going to be 2, -6, 6, 0, and -3. That's the domain. It's just the x values: 2, -6, 6, 0, and -3. The range is just the y values. And that would be -8, -9, 7, 0, and 3. And that's our range. Now, to determine that if it's a function or not, is that we need to know if it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Or, when we do the vertical line test on a graph, 2 points, you cannot have 2 different outputs for the same input. In other words, if you hit the T button on your keyboard, you don't have 2 different letters popping up on your screen. It's just the letter T. It's not T and R. If you hit the P button on your keyboard, the P letter should show up on your computer screen. Not P, S, Q, and a whole different bunch of letters. It should be just the P key. So in other words, if we hit the 2 button, we should only have a -8 up here on our screen. We don't hit the 2 button again, so we're good there. So if we hit the -6 button, a -9 should appear. And that doesn't appear often again. 6 just pops out a 7. There's no other 6s. When you hit a 0 pops up. A -3, a 3 pops up. So yes, this is a function. For example, just to determine if it wasn't a function, if we had 2, 5 also in this list, well, that means this list would not be a function, because when you hit the 2 button, the computer doesn't know whether to tell you 5 on the screen or -8. So every button that you do hit, another one has to pop up on the computer screen. You can't have 2 different things when you hit the 2 button on the keyboard. It has to either be 5 or it has to be -8. If it has 2 different outputs, or if there's 2 different y values, then it's not a function. Let's talk about number 2. So listing our domain, range, and function. Our domain is just the x values, so the domain in this case would be -5, -9, -3, -6, and 8. The range is -9, -8, 4, -3, -2. Those are the range values. The y values are the range. The function. Does any values, when you type in, for example, -5, is there any other numbers that pop up other than -9? So I type in -5, -9 appears. -5, nope. -5, no. -5, no. Nope. So yes, this is a function. So number 2 is yes, it's a function. Number 3. The domain is -8, 4, 8, 8, and 1. The range is 2, -6, 9, -5, and -7. Function. To determine if it's a function, we better not have any things that repeat and send us a different answer. So -8, 2, there's no more -8s. 4, -6, there's no more 4s, so we're good. 8, we have an output of 9. Well, we have this one is also an 8, but it's an output of -5 for my y value. Because of this, right in here, you have 2 different outputs. You have a 9 and a -5 when you type in the 8. Because of that, that means this is not a function. That's not a function. Let's do number 4 together. So the domain is the x values, 5, 5, negative 6, negative 4, 3. So that's our domain, 5, 5, negative 6, negative 4, and 3. Our range is our y values of negative 7, 9, 1, 7, and 8. That will be the range values. I'll make sure I be mathematically correct. Put those brackets in. Function, well, when we hit the 5 button, a negative 7 pops out for the first time. But if I hit the 5 button a second time, a 9 pops out. Because it's 2 different results when you hit the 5 key. Because of this, it makes it not a function. So no, it's not a function. All right, try your best with the rest of the homework. If you have any questions, please come to Extra Help. After school, I'll be happy to help you out. Also, ask questions during class because I'll be happy to help you out then. Your job is to finish off the rest of the problems, and please hit that submit button at the bottom to make sure you submit your homework. All right, have yourself a good night.